Hello everyone, my name is Gibbous and welcome to a brand new series that I'm going to be doing because I just stumbled on this game called AirSimWorld. Now it's it's a management simulator, an airline management simulator, where the game will do all the calculations of the people for you, and you have to set up routes that are popular by demand and, set the right prices. You can buy planes, set in-flight entertainment, and all that stuff. And of course, this game is in early development. There's plenty of features still planned to come out, and the game is free. I talked with the developer. He said that he's planning on leaving this game free for, until the end of its lifespan. Now, this game is quite simple right now. There's very little things that you have to actually care about, but later it's going to be quite complex. Now, recently they actually introduced alliances as well, where you can, band together with other airlines. This is actually a planned feature for beta 0.2, if I remember correctly, and he released this early, just so people could form alliances beforehand. Anyway, so we've got a nice little game guide with 4 different kinds of introductions and tutorials. This is just an activity. This is the Discord website. Of course, they've got their official Discord. Then they've got a nice little forums area where you can ask questions and give feature requests. And of course, when you click on My Airlines, you get brought to the dashboard. Now, as you can see here, that I've been messing around a bit and creating some airlines just to mess around a bit. But anyway, when you create your airline, you click on a world that you want to do. Right now there's only one world because, the game is still in beta. Then you have to give the airline name. So I decided to, before I filmed this, usually it takes me a good half hour to decide where I want to base my airline. But I decided to base my airline in Washington this time. So I guess we'll have to figure out a name. Ronald Reagan Washington Airport. So you can see I'm just gonna name this Wind of Washington because, sure, it's not it's not the best name that I could have come up with, but I'm not very good with names in the first place. Anyway, let's create the airline, and there we go, we're in the game. It's August 19th, 1993, and we've got $50 million to start off. So, let's see. So first off, you have to go to the marketplace here. Then you can take a look at all the different kinds of aircraft that you want to, fly. They range from anywhere from really tiny aircraft like this Antonov planes with 12 people, all the way to a 747 over here. 747, $200 million with 660 capacity. Anyway, as time progresses, more planes will get developed and will become unlocked, and planes will also be, decommissioned and won't be built anymore. So that's why it's best to buy planes at the right time. Anyway, I'm not sure what kind of plane I want to pick to start off with. Since we're in the US and, flying transatlantic is kind of long, I think it's best to take a lot of smaller planes. Cheap planes that are small. 9 million for 64 capacity, that's... I'm looking for a higher capacity. The 737s look like good choices, but they're just too expensive. Maybe I could take a bunch of Dash 8s, which are propeller aircraft, if you didn't know. These are just big planes. Embraer is a good one. Bombardier actually should be... Yeah, there we go. We've got a CRJ, but it's 18 million. Bombardier and Embraer are the kings of the small regional aircraft market. But, 30 people for 11 million is not a lot. So we've got the ERJ series, which is more pricey and, slightly bigger capacity, but... not really my style. Ooh, what's this? 15 million, 64, no, still. I think I need to take a closer look at all this. Oh, this looks good. 918 nautical miles. That might be a little short, but For 120 people, that looks like a good price actually. I think I'll take one. Right, so you have to create a configuration for the aircraft. I just add an economy class, name this economy, and let me see, I want to be able to make the seats as wide as possible without losing any, rows, so I've got a 3-3 configuration, and that's it. So I just have to go down and find the plane. So we've got the subs, the Tupolev, and there we go. So just gonna buy one. You need to select the engine options. Those are gonna be added later. Then you pick your class and purchase. There we go. Oh, might as well just take a quick look at the used marketplace and see. We've got quite a few aircraft on sale. Oh, we've got a 52 aircraft for 2 million. That's definitely worth it. Let's take that. So let's check the information on this aircraft. So we've got a few flight cycles remaining. Flight hours is good. It's 4 years old. That's pretty old. Next due date, August. Oh, that's actually quite close, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, we've got this. Yeah, we've got the configuration right. I'm not gonna sell the plane now. Okay, anyway, so now we've got 2 aircraft. If I'm correct, let me check. So we've got 2 aircraft and we need to start booking flights. So let's go to market research and find a new flight. So Washington. And I think I really need to pull a map out, because the US is definitely not my territory. So let's just quickly head to Google Maps. Okay, there we go. So currently we are based over here in Washington. You need to figure out bigger cities that, will give quite a bit of, demand. So we've got anywhere from Kansas to Chicago might actually be a good idea. So let's see if we can go to Chicago. Chicago Midway International Airport. So there's quite a bit of demand, and it seems like we've got a competitor on this route, which is California Express. We cannot have them, let them have the monopoly, can we? So let's see, we've got the shorter range and the longer range. This is a 500 nautical mile journey, and we've got a smaller and a larger plane. Right now there's quite a bit of demand, so I'll just pick this bigger plane. Anyway, there we go. I just had to double check that OBS was capturing this pop-up window. Anyway, I'm just going to select every day of the week because we're going to be sending it every day of the week. I'll just start off flying 1 o'clock in the morning. And I'll make a return flight. Since there's a 20-minute turnaround, that means 2:11 it will be ready at 2:31. That means at 02:32 I should be able to send the return flight. There we go. And I just repeat this process again. So 03:43, that means 04:03. So 04:04 is the next flight. And the return flight is 5:15. That means at 5:35 it should be ready. So 05:36 is when I can send the return flight. I'll just quickly make a save here. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to add another one. So we've got 647. That means that's 707. So 0708. And then we need to plan the return trip. If not, there's a discontinuity. 819, so 840. There we go, just quick save. There's a discontinuity somewhere. Interesting. Anyway, I'll just close this and reload the page, because sometimes errors like this pop up. And there we go. So now we're supplying a bit of that demand, and we're trying to capture some of the market share as well. We've got 22%. Now, right now we're losing money. What we could do is just increase the flight price to maybe $1,000 and click update. And once the, whoops. Okay, so it seems like the anti-cheat actually kicked in. The anti-spam bot. So hold on a sec. There we go. Okay, so we're back on the route. Let's manage the route. My flights. Manage route. And currently we're at a 98% load factor with $2 million weekly profit. Okay, there we go. Anyway, so we're not making that much profit. Right now the load factor is also not that favorable. So let's see if we can get the price slightly higher. So you need to press update, wait for the page to load. There we go, so this flight is being updated. Your flight is currently in the process of being updated. Passenger numbers and incomes will change as a result. So that means this is now incorrect information, and you need to wait for the system to process your request to update your flight information. And then after you wait for a few seconds, you just reload the page. And there we go, so we've got the new change. So our load factor seems fine as well. We've gained a little bit more profit. So if I increase this to, let's say, $1,500, which, you know, by now would be a ridiculous price, no one would pay for this, but the demand has not been optimized completely yet. So once again, the flight is being updated. And now I reload the web page. So it's reloading, and it seems like I raised the price too high. People are not willing to take the flight. So I'm just going to bring this down to $1,300 and update the flight again. And this is pretty much how I figure out how to set the prices. Who knows, maybe the developer might change this way of doing it later. Maybe you need to actually calculate the optimal price. But right now the developer is working on 0.2, which is a massive overhaul to the game. And I'm just gonna sit here and hope for the best for this game, because this is a really well-made game, especially because it's made by a single person. So I'm just gonna bring this down to $1,200, because $1,300 is still way too high for the people. Now, while this is updating, I am going to go back and add the flights to this aircraft, because sometimes it's a little broken. Anyway, so we've got MDW to DCA. That means we've got DCA to MDW. We need to fly Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and calculate the next timing. So that would be 07, what is this, 0708, when to fly. Then we need to turn the plane around. We've got 819, so 839, that would be 840. Done. Then we just add the flight, save the changes. Remember, people, save often, because sometimes the system might bug out a little bit. Then we've got 951, which would be 1011. So we'll put 1012, add a flight. And the return trip, 1123, would be 1143. so 11:44 at the flight. Then we press save again, and there you go, you've got a discontinuity. So you have to close this, wait for the web page to update. So keep an eye on this number here. The supply number was 7,000, now we've got 8,000 supply. We're trying to get as close to the demand as possible without exceeding it, because if you exceed it, then you've got competition. In this case, since I have a slightly higher prices probably from California Express, I will start losing passengers to the other airline, which is not a good thing for me. That's why for now I'm going to keep my my supply under the amount of demand, because I don't have the resources to have a battle with California Express. Now, as you can see, I'm making $2.6 million a week, which is an okay number for a route of this length. So I'll just go and add more flights. I'm going to add 2 sets of flights, so 2 return trips. There we go, so we've got 4 new sets. We'll just save this. There we go, it's saved. Now I'll close this, let the website refresh. And the flight is currently being updated, but as you can see, our demand has gone up again. The supply has gone up, but the demand remains unchanged. But we're getting more of the market share, which is good. Now eventually, if we have better service, we will be able to lure people away from California Express, and we will get more of the market share if we exceed the demand. But for now, the planes are not really equipped with any in-flight entertainment, so it's not a really good thing. Anyway, so we are flying to Chicago. Let's see if we can fly to somewhere that's slightly further. Let's see if we can fly to Minneapolis. Let's see, Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport. So as you can see, the supply has way exceeded the demand, and right now there's a friendly little battle going on between the airlines North Star and, what is this, World Stride Airways. Now I want no part of this, since these two are some pretty well established airlines in this area, so I'm just going to leave them be. Let's see, next location would maybe be Kansas City, I guess. Kansas City International Airport. As you can see, there's 2,000 demand and no flights. That means we've got no competition on this route. Anyway, so we'll be flying from DCA to MDW. And then we've got the 20-minute turnaround time rule. So we've got 15:59. That means the plane would be ready to depart at 16:20 at the flight. Then we need a return trip from 18:13 to 18:33, so 18:34 at the flight. I think I should be able to squeeze one more flight that will go overnight. That means the 2027 would be to 2047. That means 2048 would be the flight there, and the flight back, which would be an overnight flight over 2 days, would be 2241 to 2301, so 2302. If we click save, and hopefully, okay, the aircraft is overbooked. So that means this aircraft cannot make the overnight flight, sadly. We have to remove all this. The UI overhaul will be 0.3, so don't worry, this UI will be a lot better very soon. So there we go. Now it should save successfully. I was just trying my luck with trying to book the aircraft. The thing is, the more the aircraft is in the air, the more money you will make. Now we'll set this to $1,500 and go from there. Okay, so I think I found an amount that seems right for the people, and I'm getting a good 2 million a week out of this flight. Now there's still plenty of demand for my supply. That means what I could also do is send my second aircraft over. So we're going to send it every day of the week, starting at 0100. We need to fly this return route. And since this is a smaller plane, we are able to book more flights with this plane because it's half as big as the other one that we've got. So 541 would be 601, so 0602. And the return trip, 812, so 832, 833. So we've got 1043, 1103, so 1104. 1314 would be 1334. There we go. Then we click save. Success. We close this page. Let it reload. And there we go. So we've nearly used up all the demand, and this is usually where I would just sit and stop. Now, let's see, where is another good location where people would want to go? So we are going to Chicago. We're going to Kansas. Let's see if we can head to Atlanta. So Atlanta Airport has quite a bit of demand, and it is quite a short flight as well, only 475 nautical miles. That means we could take this aircraft and theoretically shove in one return flight, if we're lucky. So we've got 2027, that means 2047, 2048. 2048, there we go. At the flight, as you can see, it's quite a short flight, so we should be able to squeeze it in at last minute. We've got 2153, so 2213, 2214 for the return flight. And click save. And we're barely able to squeeze out one last return trip for the plane, further making this plane more efficient and better at making money. Now I'll do the same thing with the other plane here. This one, we still have quite a bit of space, and since the demand is almost maxed out, I think I'm going to go only 2 return trips. We've got 1545, that means 1605, 1606. Then the return trip is 1721, so 1742. And one more return trip. We've got 1857, so we've got 1917, so 1918. And one more for the return, 2033, 2053, 2054. And hit save. There we go. Now we just have to wait for this to reload the web page, then we can reset the prices to something more reasonable. So let's set this flight to maybe $1,000 for now. Okay, so this is doing okay, but we're still making quite a few losses. Oh, right, the flight is still being updated. I'm still trying to get used to this updating thing. But let's just reload the web page, and there we go. Now we're making money. let's see if I can squeeze 1,200, and if 1,200 is too much, 1,100 should be fine. So then let's wait a little second and reload the web page. Maybe I could even schedule a flight with the second plane, just a tiny bit to Toronto. That should be maybe 200 nautical miles, and then it should be a-okay. Then we use the plane to the absolute maximum. And as you can see, 1,100 was fine, 1,200 lost all our passengers. So we'll set this to 1,100, hit update, and then I need to go back to the other flight because I think I forgot to set the price on the bottom. So let's go to my flights. It's the flights to Kansas. So Chicago, Atlanta, and Kansas City. There we go. So I've forgotten to set the bottom, so let's set this as well, 1,800. And of course we get a server error. So let me just backload the page, and I'll be back with you once I get this reloaded. Okay guys, we're back. The server error 500, turns out the developer was updating something in the system, so there was a little bit of downtime, a few seconds. Anyway, so let's head back. So we've got Chicago Midway, Ronald Reagan, Kansas City. This is the flight that we need to update. So let's go to manage route, wait for the website to load, and set this to 1,800. Okay, while this is updating, I'll go to the market research, and from Washington, we'll fly from Washington to Toronto, which is 300. That might actually be a little tight, but let's see. We've got weekly hours. This one is fully booked as far as I know. Let's see if we can squeeze in one more flight. No, we can't. Oh, that's a little sad. Anyway, these planes are now completely and fully utilized to their maximum potential. Of course, you can squeeze out with a little bit more planning, but for now, there's nothing we can do but go to the new marketplace and find some more aircraft. We've got $34 million. Let's see if we can find something that's within this price range. I really want to try the Illusion 96, this plane over here. Great capacity, the range is good for America, and for $40 million, that is not bad at all. I'm just a little bit short though. So what I could do is I'm going to wait for a little bit, since time runs 25 times faster. I'm going to buy the aircraft. Since then, the aircraft will be put under pending deliveries, and it will wait for a few days, in-game days, until it will deliver the aircraft to me. That means, next episode, I will have the aircraft ready. Anyways, this is just a little taste of AirSimWorld. This is the tip of the iceberg. It's still in active development. A really good game. The developer has massive plans. The community is small, but it's growing and really friendly. I highly recommend you check out this game just at least once. If you really love management games, I really recommend you guys take this. I actually jumped ship from Airline Manager 3, which was a mobile game, and this is a browser game. So you might have some minor troubles, but as far as I know, mobile is supported on this game. Now these videos in the series will be very lightly edited, so you're going to hear a lot of speaking mistakes because I can't speak for the love of me. That's why this is going to be very light editing videos, because I'm going to be playing this game every day, and I decided to share my experience in this game with you guys. Anyway, I'm Gibbous, signing off to the next video. See you guys, and have a nice day.
Life of Riley.